All right, that was Eliane Elias and Mark Johnson. Você with me. Você means you, but that was me in this case. And also, Eliane, happy birthday. Yeah, yes. So that was the meaning of this whole first story. I was telling you guys, bossa nova, samba, getting all those elements, mixing with the jazz drum kit, and making this beautiful crossing in between our cultures. Is there any questions around?
Someone asked earlier, how do you keep your right hand so loose?
Okay, well, that's a good question. How do I keep my right hand so loose? Well, basically, the looseness. Can I say it like this? Looseness. So the looseness is not exactly looseness. I'm just not playing those straight notes because I'm trying to play this guy. So something I like to have. It's so I don't know if you can see this. So let me get this out here. So the tamborim, one of the tamborins we call carreteiro is like this. Okay, dismount this. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So I could do so if I don't turn this is all I will get. Right? So at this moment, I'm bringing the tambourine to the cymbal, the tambourine phrasing to the cymbal. So it's kind of loose, but it's not really loose. Oh, sorry. I'm there? Yeah. It's kind of loose, but not really loose, because I'm playing phrasing, tambourine phrasing behind. Not only tambourine phrasing, any phrase that remains the samba. Not just straight. I like to use this as an element, like a surprise effect element, just like to shift the music to another level, or express something, some tension. But I never play like this. In the slow tempos, I can actually lay down a little bit. But eventually, you're going to see I'm doing. Because otherwise, it gets so steady and it doesn't excite me. And when we're playing fast, remind the tip I said, like minimalist, like less is more. If you play too much, okay, what I'm doing, I'm showing off. I mean, I don't like to show off. It was really hard to make this live tonight, okay? I don't like to show up or show up. So this is like, why are we doing that? I mean, we're not making music here. We're just like saying, oh, I have an unbelievable control of my sticking, and I'm like one of the greatest in the world doing that. But if you take if you get like palm motion, all right, if you get palm motion drumming, and you're never gonna see him like doing the thing. And okay, let's be kind here. I'm not going against the whole world and the other drummers that love this. It's like a personal thing. It doesn't touch my heart. So I just play what touches my heart, and I try to touch everybody's hearts with what touches me. So I believe like floating, having like, it makes sense to me, like playing loose, it makes sense for the history of everything. So that's why, that's actually the best answer. And moving on and talking about a little history, I was suggested by Dan to talk about some few other elements from Brazil, like another rhythms like Baião, Foché. Partido Alto is a great kind of samba. So let's talk about that. The beautiful thing in between all of them, it's like everything becomes from, you know, the earlier generations, like the slavery, the religious parties, you know, the Afro thing, all that. And at that point, there was, once again, there was no drums. There was just percussion instruments like, you know, congas, you know, all those bells, whatever. So all those instruments making their party happening. And then when we bring it, as we did with the samba, so when we bring the other rhythms to the drum kit, we got to make adjustments, you know, for sound as the drums. And there is a very, you know, a sensitive line, if I can say like that, because we can blow the whole thing, you know. You have to make sure you are making like the most important elements for each rhythm alive in your drumming. For example, I was showing right now the tamborim thing. So tamborim is not drums, but it's here. It's on the center, not a side on top, or it's on the center. That's my heart. You know what I mean? So that's the guy. So it's still live on my jazz kit. So if I play another rhythm, I gotta make sure. Rhythms brought from percussions. I gotta make sure I'm keeping those elements alive on the kit, you know. And sometimes we just messed up. That's why I said, like, it's a very sensitive line. We can mess up and blow the whole thing. So at that point, we lose the connection with the source, with the organic thing, and then we make, if I can say in the worst word, we can make like, you know, like machines, you know, like, I think you guys got it. You know, we just have to go a little more, just keep going and then find something pretty much special and try to make that work, you know, because it's not easy, you know. No, everything doesn't resume on the kit as just like bass, snare, and hats, like those grooves, they are beautiful working together, but no, that's not everything like this always. You can build you can build grooves in a different ways. Like this is an instrument, this is another instrument. So I'm playing here with my hand, but I'm on drums. So this is drums, you know. I just need to understand, like, whatever the name says. It doesn't say like I have to play with that, respecting this and that. So that's the jazz meaning, right? We're talking about freedom, expression, and everything. And what I just played here was what? Like a zabumba line from Baião. So that's another rhythm, very popular from northeast of Brazil, northeastern, and like the big legend, the guy that carried this style was Luis Gonzaga, undoubtedly. That's a very hard word. And yeah, that became famous on the mid 40s, you know, and on the radios. And what Baião is, it's just like a mix of few instruments. We have like triangle, we have zabumba, and we have accordion. So the guy's singing, playing accordion. There's another one playing the triangle, another one playing the zabumba, which is a kind of drum like this, but, you know, larger. And we play with a little stick we call bacalhau, which is like codfish, because of the bone, you know. So just to get that kind of sound. That kind of sound. So that's why I'm playing. I'm just trying to get the overtones here. those are the elements from the Baião, you know, zabumba and triangle. So if you play like a groove like this, as I see many drummers doing, it can work. It could work, especially if you have like percussion players playing all those elements. But if you don't have it, you're losing the magic things, you know. And it's okay, you know, as long as you like find your spot to play that and that way, you know. But if we're talking about like jazz approach, I would encourage you guys like to go over and try to get those essentials, you know, for your kid. Like the same happens with, for example, Partido Alto. Partido Alto is a kind of samba that became pretty much popular back in the days. I would say, oh man, I mean that comes from Django. Django was like a kind of a rhythm play in those parties with special instruments, not special, but just like a different drums, you know, everyone playing a line. So, and it's 6/8. It's this very Afro thing, you know. And the Partido Alto actually has a okay, so this is the basic key for Partido Alto. Let me show you guys. Let's see if we can make this work. Can you see that? How's that going? Yeah, try that. Try to help me. Yeah. Okay, so what we have there is so I'm playing the bottom line on the bass drum and the top line on the snare. So 3, 4, and I'm gonna put the tempo here. Okay, but actually this came from this guy, which is not the tamborim. This is the pandeiro. And so basically we get that sound. So it's a big slap, you know, happening twice on the bar. So But there is a tip for drummers right now here. So in between those notes, we're playing. So sometimes when they want to play on the drums, they're gonna bring all those notes to the bass drum, and that for me, for the jazz feel, that makes heavier for me, because this is a tambo, it's the pandeiro. So this is one thing, this is another thing, and that's boomy, you know, mixes with the bass, the electric or double bass, and makes a huge problem. So if you want to make a cool jazzy version, you gotta save notes, be minimalist. So try to play less bass drum and lighter. So I wouldn't even play those. I was, because this is the important here. And that's cool, because that was as I told you guys, the instruments. Oh my God, the instruments from Django, like the tambu, caxambu, candongueiro, those drums. Each one playing a line, you know. And then basically, the main line is like. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. when you do this, you see like, so there are slaps and like low, bass notes. And then that thing somehow became. So at this point, let's figure out one thing. I'm playing bass drum, 1, just on 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I also like to play bass drum, having advantage to use like a 18 bass drum jazz kit, open notes and closed notes. So open like means the beater, it's doing this, and closed notes like this. So I have 2 big and 1 closed. So that's what I'm playing right there. So, what we play on the pandeiro? So, if I'm playing partido alto, I would probably play that. I don't mind. I have to once again make sure my drumming, my bass drumming blends with the bass player. That's the most important thing, okay? But right now, just like, my hat and bass drum and pandeiro, I wouldn't play. What is better? You can tell me on the message. What does it sound better? Or so that's the idea, okay? So we gotta make it some foundation to get the elements, shine. So I'm actually, let me play real quick. I don't know how we're doing with timing, but yeah, let me play a song I recorded with a great piano player, arranger, composer. It's called Antônio Adolfo. Antônio is a master from Brazil. That guy, he's a legend. He was part of the creation of, bossa, samba, jazz, everything. He had a beautiful band called Abrazuca, and to have an idea, like that name became a slang, and then ended up being the name of the ball in the epic World Cup we had there, getting massive destroyed by Germany. But anyway, Brazuca, man, Brazuca. And Brazuca had the Luizão Maia, the killing bass player, as the bass player, and many other great musicians. And I have an honor to work with Antonio for years, like in these projects. Many of them like Grammy nominated, all great arrangements, compositions, and everything. And I just found a good sample of this Partido Alto thing in one of his records, and I want to share here. It's called Partido Leve. It's like soft partido. It's interesting. Okay, so I'll try to play that. I mean, it's been a couple of years we have recorded, but let's see what happens. Okay.